Hello and welcome to another hell-raising episode of Metal Marmite. Did you get that? Hell-raising?
Oh, yeah, because one of the songs is Hellraiser, isn't it?
Yeah,
I get it.
Spoiler alert. Anyway, so welcome to episode 6. 6.
Technically,
No.
technically it's episode 7, but he doesn't know that yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Ozzy was long.
Oh, okay. We went long to it. Okay.
Yeah, so I split it into 2.
Oh, so it kind of fits. Ozzy is number 6, really. He's a bit more satanic than the band we're talking about today, really.
So he's 5 and 6. So this
Yeah.
is technically 7,
Okay.
but it's the 6th artist.
Okay, so yeah, Ozzy Osbourne was the last metal artist. Yes, we did, and you were very impressed with the palette.
Yeah,
available. Well,
it was very nice. It tasted very good. Yes, it was. It went down easy.
Yep, I think you found a few gems there.
Oh yeah, there was some in there for sure that I'd never heard before. That I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, that went pretty well. I'm interested to see how today's band how we'll do.
Mm-hmm.
So episode number 6/7.
Yeah.
Episode number 7. Whatever. So it's episode number 7, and it is slightly on the more grittier side, would you say, this week? More gruffer.
Yeah.
Maybe the most gruffest thing we've done so far, probably.
Gets down in the dirt, doesn't it?
Yeah. That band is Motorhead. So before we get into the... so if you don't know how the show works... I'm an avid metal fan. Rich, you like metal?
I like metal, but I don't know anywhere near as much as you do.
Yeah. So I will give Richard a particular album or songs, or both, from an artiste, and you'll listen to them and give your thoughts on them at a later date. So before we start, I usually do the history of Motorhead, how we first heard of them. So what would your first experience of hearing Motorhead have been?
Ace of Spades.
I
mean, it's pretty much just that's like the biggest, most well-known song, isn't it? So you hear that everywhere, you find out who sung it, and then that was my first introduction to them. Easily, 100% was Ace of Spades.
Yeah, I mean we'll get onto it a bit later, but that song is synonymous with Motorhead. It's a lot of for a lot of people, it's the only one they know. So my history, this was very hard. I couldn't remember, to be honest, that well. I couldn't remember if Ace of Spades was the first one I heard, or it was the game. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Probably was Ace of Spades, because I probably would have known who Motorhead was
when they did that.
Yeah, when they did the. But I remember hearing. Well, we'll get into it later. But I remember hearing for the first time the game theme tune and thinking, who's this? And then
I did not think that at all. I knew exactly who it was
when that came
out.
I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. I'm getting old. I'm nearly 40.
Yeah, memory's not what it used to be.
Yeah, so my first.
This all used to be trees.
But it's weird. I can remember hearing bands around that time for the first time and having clear memory of that. But I don't have.
It's weird because it's a very. I mean, Lemmy's got a very, very, very iconic.
Very
distinctive voice. You would have thought you'd remember that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just on Kerrang TV or MTV Rocks or whatever it was called back then. Just seeing Ace of Spades was probably on there. That was probably it, but I don't remember. To be honest.
Fair enough.
Hopefully one day it will click.
Just come back.
Yeah, but hey. So we'll go into a little bit of history of the band to start with. This is the most painstaking part of the show.
This is where he actually finally earns his keep.
Doing the research.
Feeling, if you're listening, you still don't do nothing.
So, what?
feeling. He actually does stuff, you know.
Oh, well, yeah, I try. Yeah. So Motorhead were formed in London.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Yep. In 1975. Although Lemmy, as we'll get into a bit later, is not really synonymous with London. But the band as a whole were formed in London.
Okay.
In 1975. Formed by vocalist and bassist Lemmy Kilmister. Lemmy.
That is a cool... Is that his real surname?
That's his real surname.
What a name.
Yep. So, yeah, Lemmy...
I'll be going by that one.
Who would go on to be the only permanent member of the band. And we'll get into that a little bit later. The guitarist, Larry Wallace. And drummer, Lucas Fox.
So it's all about the L's.
All about the L's. I had taken the L's very early on. Yeah, just coincidence that every member of the band happened to have the surname beginning with L.
I guess sometimes it happens, doesn't it?
However, this is just a start-up of the band, and Larry Wallace and Lucas Fox would not stick around for very long.
Quickly be replaced?
Be replaced, and the other two members of the band who would go on to be synonymous with Motorhead, particularly the golden period, which is late 70s, early 80s, would be Phil the Power Taylor.
Oh, what, the darts player?
The darts player.
Seriously?
Phil, no.
Oh, I was going to say, what the fuck? I never knew this. How did I not know this?
Yeah, he had to do something once his music career ended. No. Yeah, Phil Taylor. Yeah, that's his name.
Okay.
But Filthy Animal Taylor. Slightly better nickname.
I don't know. The Power's pretty good as well.
Yeah, he's a drummer as well. You know, that's a pretty good nickname for a drummer.
Yeah, the Power, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got not just Eddie Clark on guitar, you got Fast Eddie Clark.
Fast Eddie Clark.
On guitar.
Okay. It kind of sounds like everyone else had a nickname and he was like, what's my nickname? And they're like, Fast. Yeah, because you're really fast.
We've got to think of a nickname fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just kind of sounds a little bit like, I want a nickname.
Yeah, just tacked on. Yeah.
Doesn't feel very deep thought out.
So I'll briefly touch on the history of those two first. So Taylor replaced Fox as the drummer. Let me say that Fox wasn't working out as a drummer and that Filthy Taylor had a car.
Oh, right. So he could drive us around.
Exactly. Drive us around if you want to get pissed up or, you know, I doubt many bands.
I'm assuming in this early stage it's more about he can drive us to the shows and things,
yeah. I mean, I'm guessing they're not driving around in a car.
No.
They'd be in a van.
But he could drive the van. You could rent it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the benefit. And in those days, I guess, when you're just starting out, that's probably a benefit.
So can I, before you go on, are you going to touch on why Lemmy was in London?
Not really, no.
So do we know why he was here?
It was just a base, isn't it? In Latin, that's one of the biggest cities in the UK.
Yeah, but why was he in the UK?
He is from the UK, mate.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh, do you not know this? Oh my god, this is breaking news for Rich.
I genuinely thought he was from the US.
Oh wow, that's a bombshell for you, isn't it?
I didn't, because I was thinking, why London? What was he doing here in London? Was he? Because I genuinely thought he was American.
You can nail Richard in the comments for this one.
That's why we do this show, though.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
I don't know a lot about this stuff, so to me it just... wow, okay.
There you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt your flow there, but okay. I genuinely always thought he was American.
So Taylor would introduce the English Lemmy to Fast Eddie Clark, and that's how the core of the famous lineup would.
So during their prime.
Yeah, this is the prime lineup. Yeah. He eventually leave in '84. Drugs problems and stuff like that. Yeah, that's usually the reason, isn't it? But he returned in '87, so he regretted leaving in the first place.
He ran out of money.
But he was fired in 1992 for poor performance.
That's not something you hear
alcohol.
Often from musicians, though, is it? You know,
yeah,
we had to let him go because of poor performance. You know, his levels in training dropped, and he wasn't really performing at the high stage anymore. So yeah,
I mean, you have to perform to a certain level if you're going on tour.
So we sold him to McBusted. Yeah, and,
McBusted. That's a new band on me.
No.
When
McFly and Busted.
Oh, they were actually and they came together
for a very short period of time.
Oh,
yeah,
man, what a time to be alive. So he would die in 2015 at the age of 61.
Pretty young.
On the 12th of November. Don't really need to say that out loud, but it relates to Lemmy, so I'll say 12th of November 2015. And he died due to liver failure, which could
alcohol
from alcohol and all sorts of things. On to Fast Eddie Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
He came into the band and then he left in 82. Whilst on the US tour, he'd had enough of the band at that point. We'll get into the Iron Fist later on, but that was kind of the breaking point. He wasn't really that happy with the way they were going and unhappy with the album. And also, Phil Taylor by that point wanted the Clarke out of the band, didn't really like him very much. But apparently Clarke resigned, although Phil says he got rid of him. So it's very messy.
That's kind of reversed from how it usually is, though, isn't it? Like, usually you say, no, they left of their own accord, and they're like, no, he fired me. But they're doing it anyway.
So Clarke, as I said, he left in 82, he never came back, but he said he imagined himself dying on stage with Motorhead.
Okay.
Because he never really wanted to leave. He did have a little bit of a success afterwards, forming the band Fastway after Motorhead. They had a few successful singles and albums. He died. He was the last of the three to die on 10th of January 2018, age 67, from pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
So, as you've seen by now, classic live with Motorhead.
All gone.
Gone. So Motorhead is
no more.
Done. Yeah, clearly done. But I think if Lemmy was still alive, it would still be going.
I think he's the man, isn't he? Really?
I mean, the other two have both gone.
Only anyway. Original member left.
The other two have both gone anyway. So on to Lemmy. As I said, that he's the most important member of the band, the one everyone knows, the kingpin, the guy who's been in the band since the start. He was born on the 24th of December, 1945.
Another 40s kid.
Born on Christmas Eve, just after the end of the Second World War.
Yeah.
1945. Yeah. So, not a bad time to be born, I guess.
I mean, in Britain, it kind of was, but, I mean...
Yeah,
took a long time to get over the war, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Still on rations and stuff, I'm assuming, at that point.
I imagine so, yeah. So Ian Fraser Kilmeister was born in Stoke in 1945. He also lived in Newcastle.
Okay.
And in Wales early on. He got the name Lemmy from basically people saying to him, "Lemmy a fiver." So kind of, it's a kind of a weird way to get a nickname. But that's what it said on the internet.
Great.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah, I named my kid after people always scrounging off me.
Yeah, it's not from like Lemmings or anything like that. That would have been too early anyway. That wouldn't have come out in the 70s, would it?
Lemming? No. Yeah.
No. As I said, he was the figure for the band, known for his distinctive mutton chops.
I remember him for the Fu Manchu.
For the Fu Manchu, yeah, which Triple H kind of ripped off as well.
Yeah.
And the lovely big warts on his face.
Yeah. Wasn't a pretty fella, was he?
No, but he banged a lot of chicks. But then when you're a rock star, then you got money, then... Although you say that, he died apparently with a net worth of £1 million.
I mean, I'd still be happy with £1 million.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm guessing you're suggesting that he should have had a lot more.
Yeah. but then living the lifestyle he did, it's not that surprising.
It's not just that either. I think that probably like in the 70s and 80s specifically, managers were probably a lot more inclined to say, take a larger cut of your proceeds. I don't necessarily want to say take advantage of, because
there's a lot of managers that would have that
defamation of character, but I don't want to get sued.
I mean, we talked about it in the Black Sabbath
episode. I imagine there was a lot of that going around.
There was a lot of bands or artists that were taken advantage of by their record labels, and of course they were, because all bands are great at business, or whatever.
Plus, if you're pissing it all away on drugs and stuff as well.
I think one benefit for Motorhead is they were constantly touring and constantly putting out albums all the time, so
kept him afloat.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they waited 10 years to make albums or whatever, then I think that he wouldn't have, he would have gone broke probably. There's only so much Jack Daniels you can drink, and we'll get onto that in a bit. Motorhead wasn't the first band for Lemmy.
Okay. I don't find that surprising, but
no, he was in a pretty notable band before that called Hawkwind.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. Have you heard the song Silver Machine?
Sing it.
No. I'll play. I was going to play for something.
I'm terrible with names of songs.
Yeah, he was in a band Hawkwind from 1971 to 75. They had a big hit with Silver Machine, which got to number 3 in the UK charts in 1972. It's been a lot of. He was in a advert for Mazda in the mid 2000s, I want to say. So it was a pretty notable song. I think it's one of those. If I
heard it,
you probably know which song it was, but that's a fact for you.
Yeah, right on the spot right now, mate. I can't remember. No.
But Hawkwind are still going today.
Oh wow, really?
Even without
they outlived Motorhead.
Yeah, they outlived Motorhead. They're still going. They're very much more of a psychedelic type rock band.
Right. Okay.
Not as Motorhead are pretty sharp to the point. The Hawkwind are pretty lots of jams. Love. Not like Love and Peace Man or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But like jammy and long songs and stuff like that.
Right.
Not really a mainstream type band. So, you think Lemmy would prefer the rock and roll stylings of Rolling Stones, reckon, over someone like the Beatles?
Knowing what I know about all heavy metal artists, no. Because they all love the Beatles. Yeah. All of them love the Beatles and all claim that they're their biggest influence and stuff like that. And it's like, if you listen to I Want to Hold Your Hand and then, Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
But apparently, he loved the Beatles. He loved the Beatles. Yeah. They were his biggest musical icon. He really always wanted to be just like John Lennon.
I haven't quite written that down, but no. Pretty much. But then, as we discussed before, if you were growing up at that time, then the Beatles would have blown your mind, really, and they were everywhere, so you couldn't really save them.
Rock stars don't like rock stars.
Well, rock stars don't like Southerners, and that's the kind of the reason why I prefer the Beatles. The Beatles were hard men from Liverpool, came from a working class background. Rolling Stones were posh kids from London, upper class or whatever, mummy's boys, pretending to be rock stars.
Like we all are.
Yeah.
We're all soft down here.
Yeah.
Because we got nicer weather.
Me, I'm not soft. Come and have a go, you think you're hard enough. Oh, yeah. I'm rock hard,
I am soft. Don't hurt me, please. It's too cold.
He did say that he liked the Stones, but he preferred the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the Beatles had better songs, better humour, originality in their songs, presentation, blah, 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 everything else.
Okay.
But he would cover, and the band would cover Rolling Stones songs, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Sympathy for the Devil as well. They'll cover those two songs later on. Lemmy also disliked the term, or was famous for disliking the term heavy metal.
Okay.
He always saw Motorhead as a rock and roll band, more than anything else. Maybe because heavy metal wasn't a term back in the 70s, really. It didn't really come like a term until like the early 80s.
I mean, I must admit, going on this journey, I'm a little confused about the term heavy metal as well. So maybe I have a more modern mindset on the term heavy metal, but when I think of the term heavy metal, I think thrash metal more than anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have described Motorhead as heavy metal. And a lot of the Ozzy Osbourne stuff I wouldn't have described as heavy metal either.
I would say by today's standards, I would say Motorhead are more heavy rock than heavy metal, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they were massively influential on heavy metal genre as a whole, just because they sounded nastier and heavier than pretty much anything else that was out there.
It's gnarly. 70s. It's gnarly for sure. I agree.
You know, it didn't sound clean and polished. You know, as a lot of bands do. You know, I like Iron Maiden. They're still like, you know, production's still pretty good. Same with Judas Priest. You know, they're heavy bands, but the production's still pretty good. They sound clean. You know. While Motorhead was gruffer and, you know, a little bit more difficult to get into, possibly.
I think his vocals probably go a long way with that.
The vocals as well, yeah, of course, yeah.
He's got a very steel worker factory kind of voice. You know, you could imagine him being a singer, but you could also imagine him being a factory going, "Oh, give out the bloody work! Tea time's over, you bastards!"
Yeah, he's not exactly Mariah Carey. Definitely not. Obviously, Lemmy was known for loving Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
As a drink. He even featured in adverts for Jack. You knew what? He loved Jack Daniels.
He loved Jack Daniels.
Oh, okay, that's good. Well,
for me, man, that's the fact that you're like, well...
Well, he wasn't in an advert for Jack Daniels, which was pretty popular, and again in the mid-2000s, right? So,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Although he did switch to vodka before he died. So.
Is that why he died?
Out of shame.
Yeah.
Shame for turning his back on Jack Daniels.
No, but I'm suggesting that Jack Daniels might have had him whacked.
No, because Jack Daniels... Jack Daniels...
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. So Jack Daniels would honour Lemmy with a Motorhead signature whiskey after his death.
Oh, okay. So
they released to cover up they killed him.
Yeah, allegedly.
For betraying them for vodka. They released a Lemmy whiskey, which was a nice touch.
Is it still available, or is it like a limited edition?
That's a great question. I really should have looked into that.
Cool.
But thanks, Frank. If anyone knows, put it in the comments or whatever. You know, or just let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah. So we're going to get to the more bleak part now.
Yep.
September 2015. He was hospitalised with a lung infection. Sounds nice, doesn't it? He was going to brain scan, and cancer was found on the brain and the neck.
Okay.
So at this point, you know, you're thinking, don't have a lot of time left. You know, so it was terminal cancer. Yeah, he didn't have very long. The doctor gave him 2 to 6 months to live from September 2015, which was pretty accurate. Died on the 28th of December 2015, 4 days after he turned 70. So he did make it longer than the other two in terms of age. But 70 is still a young age.
I mean, my dad's almost 70, so
but if you live by, you know, the rock and roll lifestyle,
you abuse yourself that much.
Yeah, you know. And I've got a granddad that just turned 95.
But I'm assuming he didn't live fast.
He wasn't living a fast, hard rock and roll lifestyle. You know.
That you know of.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe him and Nan were. Maybe they lived it heavy. You know, back in their youth.
Maybe I need to do some digging on that. Yeah. So I did do some research into this neck part with you. His funeral service was held at the Forest Lawn Memorial Cemetery in Los Angeles. Now, I remember you going to a cemetery in LA.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But it wasn't this one because I checked.
Oh, okay.
Because you said Chris Cornell. I'm sure you said
Chris Cornell was there, yeah.
And he wasn't in this one.
Okay.
So
Marilyn Monroe's also in this one.
Okay,
in the
so
one
it's
I
a
went
pretty
to as well.
famous. Marilyn Monroe, one of the biggest names of all time. Yeah, definitely.
And the dog that played Toto in Wizard of Oz.
Well, one of the biggest movies of all time. There you go. There you go. I don't know how Chris Cornell fits in with that. Did a Bond theme. Bond's pretty big, I guess. Anyway, the Memorial Cemetery in Los Angeles. This was held on the 9th of January, 2016, and it was live streamed on YouTube at the time. Which did I watch this at the time, or did I saw it was on there?
Not sure how I feel about that.
What, the funeral being live streamed?
Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of tacky.
I imagine the family wouldn't have agreed to it if they didn't. I don't know. It was just for the fans. I
get that, which is why I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, it's nice that everyone can join in, but then it also feels kind of tacky. But then I guess we did a lot of that during COVID as well, didn't we? But didn't really have much choice, did we?
It did get 230,000 views on YouTube.
That doesn't seem that many.
Doesn't seem that many, does it? No. Speakers included Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters, Nirvana, obviously a big Motorhead fan, Slash of Guns N' Roses, Lars Ulrich and Robert Trujillo
from Metallica.
Yeah. Rob Halford.
Oh, the
from Judas Priest,
whose sister married the other guy.
Yeah. That's it. Well done. Do you remember from episode 2, Judas Priest, now available on Spotify and
wherever you listen to this podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. He was one of Lemmy's best friends.
Okay.
And of course, the Game, Triple H.
Apparently, they became really good friends as well, didn't they?
Supposedly so. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Also, with Motorhead, one thing that is synonymous with them is this guy right here. Snaggletooth. The mascot.
Cute name.
What a lovely name for
That's
a mascot.
Lovely. Isn't that the name of a character from a kids' show?
Yeah. Hanna-Barbera, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
As we discussed on episode 3, Iron Maiden, available now on Spotify and wherever
you listen to this.
They obviously have probably the most famous mascot of all time in heavy metal, Eddie. But Motorhead had their own, who was on the cover of their very first album, and on most of the covers going forward.
So it's like a demonic motorbiker, isn't it?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a logo, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
it's pretty badass.
Marketing, isn't it? You know, people recognise it.
I think Motorhead have become one of those bands that the logo is synonymous. They've sold a lot of T-shirts with this logo on. It's just a fashion thing as well. Same with the Ramones, I guess, AC/DC. Sometimes, Led Zeppelin. Bands will become, big merch sellers.
It's the best way to get into people's brains, isn't it?
If you got a really badass looking logo or whatever.
Something that you can stamp on T-shirts, people, you'll be able to stay in people's minds, won't you? So,
absolutely. And I think it was a lot prevalent back in, late 70s, early 80s when there wasn't as much, exposure to much more coverage of music, heavy metal, in magazines or whatever else, internet. We didn't have internet back then. You went into I've seen this from YouTube channels I've watched. People will go into CD shops and see the cover of the album and think that looks badass. I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
And this is a lot. This has happened for a lot of metal bands. So you go and walk into a shop and you see that, you think, it's going to sound heavy.
Yeah. Like I said, looks good on a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm. They're also known for the spelling.
Yeah, I was going to say the umflow is always something I always find.
I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to. Probably the most famous in terms of heavy metal. There are a lot of bands that have used it. Blue Oyster Cult, Blue Oyster Cult, Queensryche, Motley Crue, among others, have used it. I think Motorhead probably the first to do it.
And the only one that makes sense there is Queensryche.
Queen's Reich. Does anyone make no sense?
Because you said Reich, right?
Reich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's German.
Yeah.
Reich is German.
Means Reich.
Which is what the Umflau comes from.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It just looks cool.
Mm. I always like the Gothic letters as well. I always thought that looked pretty cool in their name.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, with heavy metal bands, it's logos. Logos are prevalent. Yeah. Iron Maiden, Metallica. If you've got a cool logo, people are going to buy your shirts, going to buy your merch, whatever else. You've got a shitty looking logo, then you're not going to sell as much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or no logo at all.
Yeah. So there you go. And I think I'm pretty much done for the history of Motorhead now. As I said, Motorhead are done now. Because when you lose Lemmy, then it's pretty much what's the point anymore.
I mean, you say that, but Queen is still around, and they lost Freddie Mercury.
Good point. I don't think they're as big a band worldwide as Queen, though. But...
Oh, right, okay. I thought you were saying I don't think Queen are as big a band as Motorhead.
No,
I was like, are you... what?
Yeah, I don't think they're not as far-reaching as Queen, clearly, you know.
I think Lemmy was probably... I mean, he was probably the glue that held it all together, you'd imagine.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I did see Motorhead once live. They supported the Foo Fighters back in 2006 at Hyde Park. I don't remember much about it at all because I'm getting old.
Because you were living that rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, and I wasn't massively... I like Motorhead, but I wasn't massively into them at that point.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I like Motorhead, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm
more now, but at the time I wasn't.
Okay.
Well,
I think my level of support has always remained the same.
Okay, with that being said, I don't think I have anything else to add. No, we'll make it our way into the tracks I gave you to listen to. Now, this is the first week that I have not given you an album to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few factors behind that. The one thing that's been levelled at Motorhead a lot of the time is that a lot of their songs sound the same. Which
foreshadowing.
Yeah. I'm not going to, deny that. It's the same with AC/DC. A lot of their songs do sound the same. Like there's no denying it. I'm not going to, poo-poo anything. People say, oh, they do. It's a fact of life. I had a very hard time getting into Motorhead when I was getting into heavy metal because a lot of their songs sound the same. And it's very difficult. As we'll get onto, I think one or two songs stand out more than anything else. Now that I've been listening to this shit for 20 years, a lot more songs stand out now, but back when I was getting into heavy metal, not as many. That's one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Two is Ace of Spades has a lot of songs on it. That's probably the one that's held up as their classic. Some people would say Overkill. But I thought, do I really need to get you to listen to 15 songs that probably all sound nearly the same? Not really. Plus, Motorhead has look at the albums we looked at before. Sabbath, 8 songs on Paranoid.
Yeah. Maiden,
8 songs on Number of the Beast. So, not many songs. And the other reason, I've completely forgotten now. You can edit this out.
Except if you are a member of Patreon, you can see all of this uncut, unedited, and watch his fuck-ups.
Yeah.
But you need to be a member.
The other reason...
No, leave it now.
The other reason was...
I'm going to cut this out. It's only going to be on Patreon.
Yeah, the other reason is I don't remember. That's it. No. The other reason is they've released a lot of albums. And as I was making my way through the songs, I just thought, I'll just do songs. Because there's a lot. There was enough on these albums.
If you're getting me to listen to 15 songs on an album and then individual songs as well.
The catalogue, I thought, I don't need to get into this.
I think we got a pretty good spectrum anyway.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The majority is going to be from the classic period, but of course. So that's the reason why there's no album this week. So disappointed. So sorry if you wanted to hear Richard's opinions on the whole of Overkill or the whole of Ace of Spades, but no, I'm afraid not. Anyway, we'll get into the first track of 15 that Rich listened to for this show. Black Sabbath had a song called Black Sabbath. Iron Maiden had a song called Iron Maiden. And Motorhead also have a song called Motorhead off their first album called Motorhead.
You are not a heavy metal band unless you've named a song and an album after yourself.
Yeah. I guess it's a statement.
It's Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on the album Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
it's Motorhead.
It's a statement. It's a statement, I guess. I don't know.
It's fucking ego.
Yeah. Yeah. What is strange, though, is this song was originally a Hawkwind song, which Lemmy...
Called Motorhead?
Yeah, which Lemmy just took and
just stole. It. Okay.
Yeah, he liked the name of the song. He just thought, well, I'll have the song and I'll cover the song. Fair enough.
Were they okay with this, or did they sue him?
I have got nothing about them being sued, so I assume so. I don't know. This was the last song he wrote for Hawkwind as well. Before he got fired. So I don't know if it holds a special place in his heart. I don't know.
Maybe he took it out of spite. Fire me, you bastards! I steal your fucking song.
Possibly, yeah. So it was originally released in March 1975 by Hawkwind, before being re-released by Motorhead as the first ever single released in the 10th of June 1977.
Good way to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Also the height of punk as well, so maybe that sound was good for the time. I don't know if Motorhead were popular with punk listeners at that point, but they're kind of the same attitude as Sex Pistols and Clash, I guess. I don't know. So we'll get into the song itself. I like the intro, nice rumbling bass, go along with it. The vocals are not great on this song. This is my main problem with this song. Is I think everything sounds great apart from Lemmy here. It sounds, I don't know if it's the production or whatever, but yeah, you can't really understand what you're saying. The song I put sounds very glam. It sounds very much like Slade or Status Quo. I've written down here. But the guitar solos are good, the music sounds good, I think the drums sound good, I think everything sounds good other than the vocals. But I fear that you are going to disagree.
Actually, no, I agree with everything you said.
Oh, okay.
So I've written here, literally like every beat you hit, I've hit. So I love the start, really cool, fun start. Going into the glam rock side and the punk rock thing, I was really expecting an oi, 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 oi at the start. Like, I feel that.
Yeah, that would have fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what the fuck is he singing?
Yeah. I mean, not that this is a problem with heavy metal, because for a lot of it you can't understand what anyone's saying, but I just think
it sounded really muddied and right. Like, what are you just? But I think this is good. This is going to be a bit of a theme with Lemmy. That a lot of the time you're going to be like, the fuck is he saying? And the final comment is, great guitar solos. Loved the guitar solos. All in all, really like the song. Don't know what the fuck he was saying throughout the whole song. But yeah, like I said, I think that's going to be a bit of a theme. Yeah.
It's not been one of my favourite Motorhead songs, but listening back to this, I like everything about it, apart from Lemmy. Just doesn't sound right.
Yeah. It needed an oi, oi, oi.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a bit late for that now, but, thanks for the suggestion, Rich.
Hey, we got AI. We can AI that now.
Oh, yeah,
you get Frank Sinatra singing Baby Got Back. You can AI some oi, oi, ois from Lemmy in the beginning of the song.
I have to check that out.
ChatGPT, get on it.
This song reached number 6 in the UK charts.
Wow, quite high, okay. In what year? 77, did you say?
Yeah, but a little bit different. It was a live version that reached number 6 in the UK charts back in 1981.
Okay.
Which is their biggest UK hit.
Really?
Single, so just as Motorhead. we'll get onto their biggest UK hit later on.
Okay, wow.
But yeah, as just as Motorhead, this is just the live version, which number 6 in 1981 from No Sleep Till Hammersmith, one of the most famous live albums of all time, and went to number 1 in the UK, I think, when it was released. Anyway, I think we've said enough about this song.
There's not really a lot to say about it, is there?
Yeah, don't want to get too much overkill for that. So, on to song 2. Off the second album, Overkill, the song Overkill.
I'm noticing a theme.
Yeah, well, the band's not called Overkill.
They should have changed their name for it.
But yeah, the title track of the second album. I will let you start this time. What did you think? Before we go into...
I didn't have much to say about this one. I thought it was very similar to Motorhead. I didn't really notice a huge amount of difference. I think the vocals were a bit better on it. You can understand what he was singing a little bit more. But I felt like the music was like very similar. But I did put down that I really liked the breakdown. So
at the end,
yeah.
It goes back into the intro again and then breaks down. Yeah,
well, I did like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I didn't have a lot to say about this one. I thought they were very similar songs, which, spoiler alert, is going to be a bit of a theme. But
well, I did say it.
Yeah,
you can't get away from it. As much as the biggest Motorhead fan would say the same. Amazing drum intro to start with from Filthy Power Taylor. Really good drum intro. I thought this. I think this was incidentally the first time that Motorhead played Tour de Pops.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, 1979 they played this on Tour de Pops.
Okay.
First ever appearance. This has gone down for a lot of people as the Motorhead song, the best Motorhead song.
Wow, okay.
And it's the last song they ever played live as a band before Lemmy died.
Do you think that has a little bit of sway in people's opinion of it, or
what do you mean?
That's why it's the Motorhead song, because it was the last one they ever played together?
No, I think it was I think it was a classic before then.
Okay.
I think it's a very good song. There's a lot of songs we'll get into that I like a lot more, but I still think it's a good song. There was also a band that took their name from the song, Overkill, a thrash metal band in the late 80s who we might get into at some point.
I mean, it's a pretty easy metal name, isn't it? Overkill, Max Charge, Overkill, Turbo Drive,
These are good song titles, I'll write these down. Yeah. Turbo Drive. Call your song Turbo Drive and then make it into a ballad or something.
Like really
completely
slow,
confuse the listener.
Like really big, heartfelt.
Fuck, am I allowed to do this?
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
Fuck you to the listener.
You specifically.
Yeah.
Fucking listening to this podcast. Who do you think you are?
Fast and hard, and then it's like a Michael Bolton song.
Yeah. I said I loved you, but I lied.
You're a man. Yeah. That's enough about Michael Bolton.
I like Michael Bolton, though. I think he's got a great voice.
If you want to listen to a Michael Bolton episode, that'll be coming up at some point. We run out of
in heavy metal.
We revive out of bands. I'm just like, who am I going to do?
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton, I guess. I guess, kind of. I mean,
he's got a deep voice.
He's quite loud, isn't he?
Yeah. He's powerful. He's a presence. Like he could lead a rock band.
He probably could. He had the hair as well. Certainly at the late 80s, early 90s, he could have been a power metal vocalist.
Oh, yeah, he could have for sure.
Definitely. And,
100%. He missed a trick there.
There you go. Yeah. I never thought we'd get Michael Bolton to shout out in this podcast, but there you go.
You'll be surprised what we shout out on this podcast.
Yeah. So on to song 4. Bomber.
It's a bomber!
Because we shoot to kill, and you know we always will. It's a bomber, it's a bomber.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It's Obama.
It's Obama. Yep. But I'm going to say Obama before Obama was born, but obviously not. Before Obama was a thing that we knew.
They knew. Lemmy could see the future.
Yeah. Bomber from the album Bomber. As I said earlier, when I listened, I bought the greatest hits of Motorhead back when I was getting into heavy metal, and I struggled to get into a lot of these songs, so they sound a lot the same. And well, as you said, Lemmy's vocals are very gruff, but this was one that hit immediately, and this might be my favourite song by Motorhead ever, just because it's one that I've always liked. It hit immediately. The riff is relentless, constantly throughout the song. It doesn't stop. The song is about a book called Bomber. So the book was about a bombing raid by Britain on the Germans during World War II, which hit the wrong town. Apparently, they went for the wrong target.
Oh, okay.
Sounds interesting, but there you go. This was another Tour de Pops performance.
Okay.
In 1979 in December. So
it charted pretty well. Didn't it?
So despite the gruff sound, they were still, they get on top of the pop. So pretty good, pretty decent. So as I said, this is one of my favourite Motorhead songs, maybe my favourite. What did you think?
Yeah, I actually really liked it.
Good.
I think it's very reminiscent of Ace of Spades, and that's the kind of sound that I prefer of Motorhead. The thrashy, keep going,
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
This song is
batters you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, I put down here that it's I don't know what I was expecting after knowing about Ace of Spades. Pretty much, it's very similar kind of sound to that, and it is really thrashy, and obviously that it's about Obama.
Yeah. You like particular song or songs about Obama?
Every single song that's ever been written about Barack Obama, I'm a huge fan of. Yeah.
Which other songs?
There's that really famous one about the. And then and there's that one, yeah.
Okay, thanks for the insight, Rich.
No, it's fine. It's no problem. I'm glad that I could teach you all about those 12 Barack Obama songs that we just discussed.
I'm glad you liked the song, though.
No, I did. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
It's one of... The end of the song is probably one of my favourite ends to a song ever. The riff just keeps going. Faster, 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 faster. Doesn't stop, yeah. As I said, this was one of the first real songs I got into from Motorhead, and still holds up now, I think. So the next song is We Are, in brackets, The Road Crew.
Mm-hmm.
What is this song about?
I'm assuming it's about them touring. Yeah.
Anyway, it was written about Motorhead's Road Crew by Lemmy. And supposedly they got pretty choked up about having a song written about them.
I mean, I guess
it's not very rock and roll, is it?
I guess not a lot of people really acknowledge their support staff, do they? So
No. I think the song gives a pretty good description of
life
on tour.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the lyrics. It's not a very deep song. It's just. The song goes beat, beat, beat. There's no verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Unless you want to call the chorus "We Are the Road Crew." We
are the Road Crew.
Yeah, that's basically the chorus. Them just saying that out loud, isn't it? So another town, another place, another girl, another face. Another gig, my ears bleed. Another town left behind. Another hotel I can't find. That's giving you a description really of life on tour. Another border to get through. Driving like a maniac, driving to hell and back, another room, a case to unpack, all sorts of, this is, pretty standard, really.
I mean, I didn't note down the lyrics like you did. I didn't, but that's
I have to. It's
your
my job.
Yeah. But I must say, with this song, I actually preferred the lyrics more than the actual song itself.
Right, yeah.
I kind of
felt one of those songs where it
told a story.
Listen, yeah.
The lyrics told a story, but the music kind of made it a little bit dull for me. I don't know if maybe it needed another tune or it needed slowing down a little bit, or maybe not as boom, 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 boom. But I feel like the message got lost in the song a little bit. But I actually did like the lyrics. I mean, I didn't note them down. But yeah, I actually preferred the lyrics to this song than I did the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's more lyric based than anything this song, isn't it, really, let's be honest. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah. So we'll move on to the second song, third,
yeah.
From Ace of Spades. Which originally I wasn't going to put on here, but once I went through the song list and looked at the title of the song, I thought, I suppose I'm going to have to do that. Jailbait. Yeah. Jailbait. Which
I'm assuming this one's about groupies, right?
Yeah. I mean, the title stands out straight away. Like, what? Written about the appeal of underage girls, Richard.
Yeah.
Which any band can relate to.
Yeah, yeah. All. Yeah, like every band. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get into the lyrics in a second for the song Jailbait, but you can imagine what kind of lyrics we're looking at here.
I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics.
Lemmy was surprised he didn't really get a lot of backlash at the time for this, and probably didn't get much backlash overall for it, which is surprising considering the content of the song.
So what year was this released?
80.
80, you said,
It's
yeah?
80. So different times. 43 years ago.
Different times, but...
This would get you cancelled nowadays, obviously.
Oh,
there's
100%.
no way that you could call a song Jailbait.
I don't know, I think you could call the song Jailbait, but I think you need to be careful with the
subject
lyrics.
matter would have to be,
You'd have to be a little bit careful with that.
Yeah.
But I also think that this is kind of maybe a symptom of the times where a lot of, establishments wouldn't necessarily check to make sure that their patrons are over 18, for instance. So you would have a lot of girls in, 14, 15, 16 who look like they could be 18, 19, 20.
Yep.
And they just, if I flash you my tits, will you let me in?
Yeah,
and the guys are like, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of rock bands had groupies, and
I am sure plenty of the musicians in the past have slept with underage girls. I am certain of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If a girl looks like she's 20 and she throws herself at you, and you are in an establishment where you assume everyone is over the age of 18, why would you question that?
Different times.
You wouldn't ever turn around to a woman and say, yeah, that's fine, but I need to see a form of ID before we go home to my house, because she'd go, weirdo, and then she'd walk off. So, yeah.
So, if you're familiar with this album and song, you'll know the lyrics, but I will read some out for you if you're not familiar.
Please do.
With them. Teenage baby, you're a sweet young thing, still tied to mum's apron strings. It's off to a great start here already. Fantastic. I don't dare to ask your age, just enough to know you're backstage.
Yeah,
Isn't that sweet?
Because he doesn't want to know, see? You're like, I'll just assume that you're the right age, that's fine.
You're Jailbait, and I just can't wait. Jailbait, baby, come on. One taste is all I need. My decision made at lightning speed. There's no thought gone into this at all.
Yeah, because he's horny.
He's seen a good-looking woman, he's like, yeah.
He's horny, and he's just like, I'm turned on now, so, yeah.
Yep, I don't even want to know your name. Very romantic here. It's enough to know you feel the same. Hey, love that young stuff. That's actually a lyric in this song. Hey, love that young stuff.
Were they ever on Jim Will Fix It?
I don't know, but I don't see this song getting covered a lot nowadays.
I'm not surprised, really.
Yeah. Tell me, baby. Oh, you look so fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard, yeah.
As on its own.
I mean, Justin Bieber could sing that.
Send quivers up and down my spine.
Again.
The next line, not so much. I don't care about our different ages. I'm an open book with well-thumbed pages. Ugh. Ew.
That makes me think of... He's masturbated a lot, though.
Well-thumbed pages. There you go, yeah.
I mean, that is going to be my new euphemism. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just thumbing some pages.
Yes, it's really hard to defend this. Other than saying, just different times. This came out in 1980. It was 43 years later. Obviously you wouldn't fly nowadays.
My biggest question is it autobiographical?
Possibly.
Because there's a difference between shit, I didn't know how old she was, and I don't care how old she is. There's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah, I don't know if this is written from experience or whatever. I'm sure groupies were coming to their gigs.
Oh, 100%.
And some of them were underage.
Yeah.
Whether they took advantage of it, I don't know.
Again, I'm not even saying necessarily that they took advantage of it. What I'm saying is if you are in a place where you assume everyone will be over the age of 18, at least, then you have no reason to believe otherwise. But if you're now saying, well, yeah, but I only really like them when they're underage, then that's different.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big difference between those two things. You know, if I'm like, she told me, you know, I assumed that she was 18 because I was right to make that assumption. And I thought she was 18, but then when she told me she was 14, I was like, oh, yes. You know, there's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so I'm not going to defend it, but it is what it is. Moving on to another song with an extremely hard as nails title. Shine. Shine like a star. About Take That song. I hate that song because it was on TV a lot when it what was the supermarket that used that song quite a lot? Yeah, it was on TV a lot. I hate that song. I don't mind a lot of Take That, but that song
early stuff and Patience I liked, but then beyond that, any of the new stuff I'm like, nah, I'm not.
Greatest Day.
No.
Well, we're talking about this on the Metal Podcast. Talk about Take That. Michael Bolton, whatever. So Shine, obviously not very heavy metal. Song title name, and it's not from an album called Shine. It's called Another Perfect Day. This album.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But there is a song called Another Perfect Day on it. But we're not going to cover that. So Shine. Was released in 1983 on the album Another Perfect Day. This was the first album after the departure of Fast Eddie Clarke, who quickly got out of there, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Because
he's so quick.
He's fast. Yeah. He was replaced by Brian Robbo Robertson. So boring nickname.
Again, like, I want a nickname. Robbo, yeah.
He was the guitarist for Thin Lizzy.
Oh, okay.
So he joined Motorhead after Thin Lizzy split up.
So was that before or after Metallica made them big?
Metallica didn't cover them until like mid-90s, so yeah.
So before they made them big, yeah.
Feel the Power, Taylor. He convinced Lemmy to hire him. He was a big Thin Lizzy fan, so that's how he got the gig. Big success. This song got to number 59 in the UK, so a bit of a drop off here for Motorhead. It doesn't really get much better from there, really, to be honest. But I think this song would have been massive in the 70s. It kind of has that 70s style feel to it. I don't know. And this is their last album with Bronze Records.
Okay.
Not gold or silver, bronze. And we'll get into a bit more in a minute about that. But the alliance, the allegiance with Robbo wouldn't last very long, unfortunately. Lemmy quickly would get annoyed with him for taking hours to record his guitar tracks.
So he was a perfectionist.
Yeah, perfectionist. Yes.
Right. Okay.
An artiste.
Okay. Yeah. Can't rush inspiration, man.
Yeah. He also didn't fit in with the band's dress sense.
Thin Lizzy doesn't strike me as a
if you
biker kind of.
If you watch the video for Shine, which is just a boring video of them playing the song live, you'll see what I mean. He's wearing a headband reminiscent of Mike Knopfler from Dire Straits.
Right.
And you don't really think of rock and roll when you think of Dire Straits, do you? Really?
Does he have lots of frills on his cuffs as well?
No, I don't think so. So he didn't last very long. He was out pretty quickly. Unfortunately, this would lead to Taylor also leaving.
Because he brought him in.
Yeah, he brought him in, so they left.
So that's when he started his darts career.
Yeah, that's when he got into darts. Yeah, put on a bit of weight. Yeah. Started drinking a lot of beers.
Let himself go a little bit.
That's it. Yeah, all darts players.
But then he got himself back in shape again. I've seen him recently. He got himself back in shape.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And he outlived all of them.
So, due to the combination of those two leaving and them leaving Bronze Records as well, they wouldn't release an album around 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Which, for Motorhead standards, is long. And Lemmy and Robbo wouldn't speak again for the rest of Lemmy's life, apparently. He wasn't a big fan of him.
Okay.
But there you go. He had the guitarist from Thin Lizzy in your band. Pretty good. Did you like the song anyway? Overall, I have not asked you that. I don't know why.
No, it's fine. I'm actually going to rewind the clock back a little bit. And where is it? Iron Fist.
Did I not ask you for that either?
No, you didn't.
Bloody hell.
But each one kind of leads into the rest.
Okay,
so,
right, yeah.
This was where I began to fear that we had another Iron Maiden on our hands. I started to ask, what is the difference between all of these songs? Which then brings us into Shine, where I said, I really liked the different intro. The intro
really
was
fast
interesting, and I really enjoyed that. But I still didn't notice any major change in style. It still sounds very, for lack of a better term, Motorheady.
Yeah.
Which would then, before we move on to the next song, which would then lead me to ask this question of you, Tom.
Go on.
What is it like at a concert when all the songs sound so familiar? Like, when do you know one song finishes and another one begins? And do you really get into them when they all sound so the same?
Because, as I discussed earlier, I've been listening to this band for 20 years, and eventually things stand out more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the reason why.
Because I could just not imagine myself at a concert enjoying this when every song just sounds pretty similar to the last one. It's like with the Iron Maiden episode. I was like, I could not imagine being at an Iron Maiden concert because I would just be like, oh no. Diddly again. Okay, yeah, so that's great. Okay. Yeah, the mascot's cool and everything, but it's again, and it's just it started to feel like that to me a little bit. But then, hand it back to you.
Oh, we're going to get to the next song, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised this is the one that you're going to hand me over to. Okay. So the next song, Killed by Death, right? We're moving on to that? Yeah. So, as I said before, the band had left Bronze Records now, no record deal. So they're thinking, right, we need to make more money off Motorhead, so let's release a compilation. So they released a compilation of, like, some of their best hits and, like, you know, and some other lesser-known songs. This song was included on the compilation No Remorse in 1984, so this was a stopgap, you know, while Motorhead were doing nothing. The great title, Killed by Death. Killed by Death. Bit of a stupid song title, but it sounds good, I guess.
Well, that just makes me think, like, it wasn't my time, but Death was so pissed off with me that he decided to murder me.
Yeah. So you like this one?
I did. I thought it was a little different. And at this point, I really needed a change. I was getting a little bit monotonous. You know, I was getting a bit burnt out. I needed a bit of a change. And I think this is the first song I actually heard the lyrics.
He does say Killed by Death for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but it sounds a lot clearer as well. I've also put in here, Squeeze My Lizard.
Yeah. We talked about it in jail, but they've got some cringe lyrics. Yeah. And this is one that stood out. If you squeeze my lizard, I'll put my snake on you. I'm a romantic adventure and I'm a reptile too. So yeah, that's one of the most famous lyrics. Yeah, if you squeeze my lizard, put my snake on you. They've actually got a song on Ace of Spades called "Love Me Like a Reptile" as well.
Oh, really? Okay, so they love the
those metaphors. Yeah,
they love the reptilian side of things.
So that lyric stood out to you.
Yeah, that one specifically
how could it not?
stood out to me. Yeah.
How could it not? Yeah.
But it was good. It gave me a little bit of a break. It kind of brought me back into it again. So I didn't find this song that bad, actually. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, so everyone listening at home, don't squeeze your lizard. You know, you don't want people to get your snake on you. Obviously,
also, don't thumb your books, because you'll ruin them.
Obviously, these are meant to describe what we're talking about and nothing else. Squeezing lizards and putting snakes on you.
He just really likes reptiles.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's not about anything else.
He just wants to show you his pets. It's like, wow, look, I've got a lizard, here's my snake, you know. Like
I do like Lemmy's vocal delivery on this song.
Well, it just sounded so much clearer than most of the other songs. I mean, we haven't got to the one I want to talk about yet, and when we do, I will fill it in. But up until this point, he has sounded very, I've just got out of bed. And then this one sounds a little bit clearer, you know? Like this one, he's had his breakfast and his shower, and he's ready for the day now.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next song, which stands out immediately, just like Jailbird, from the title alone, but for different reasons. What's that? Orgasmatron.
Oh, what a name!
I am the one, Orgasmatron, the outstretched, grasping hand. My image is on
What a great name for
What
a
a
song.
name!
Orgasmatron from the album.
Is it Orgasmatron?
Orgasmatron.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is the title track from the album Orgasmatron.
Why would you call that album Orgasmatron? I mean, it's a fucking great name, but people are going to just be like, yeah, my son isn't listening to that. Or daughter, sorry. Didn't mean to, but, you know.
Yeah, it's just way too crude, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, this is the first album they released after all the eternal strife and everything that we talked about. It took them 3 years to release this album. The first album as a 4-piece now. So he's got more people to join his band. And they formed their own record label called Great Western Road.
Okay.
Which I kind of like, isn't it?
Does sound very American, though.
Apparently, this song has nothing to do whatsoever with any sort of orgasmic
No, I could tell you that.
inducing machine.
I could tell you that. The lyrics did not match what I thought the song was going to be about at all.
Listen to the lyrics.
It sounds like a murderous fucking robot or something. It's like, but, you know, you hear it and you think, oh, he's going to be like, oh, he's a sex robot sent back in time to, you know, have sex with the ladies to save humanity.
What else could it be about?
And then you hear it and you're like, this is not what I fucking thought it was going to be at all.
So what do you reckon the song's about?
I fucking kill a robot. That's what it sounds like. It sounds
right.
like a fucking murdering robot to me.
It's about religion and politicians.
Oh, okay.
Mainly.
Again, totally not what I thought then.
Yeah. So it's about, you know, they've got some lyrics here: twist the truth and revel in our pain. Emperor of lies, all my promises are lies. So this is not talking from like politicians' point of view. And I said you got lyrics about war. I lead you to your destiny. I lead you to the grave.
Yes, it was lyrics like that made me think it was about a killer robot from space or something.
It's a bleak song.
It is.
Really, it's quite bleak. It's the same riff over and over again.
Yeah.
I will say that this song is quite hard listening. The intro is quite long, and it's the same riff over and over for about 5 minutes.
But it was a different riff than the riffs that they usually use, which is why I didn't find it that terrible.
Good.
Again, it was refreshing on the ears.
Yeah. I mean, I like the song, but yeah,
it
goes on.
Dirgy.
Yeah, it's dirgy.
Really dirgy. It was just like really down low, you know. But yeah. So what is Orgasmatron got to do with what the fuck they're talking about? Yeah, but I can name a song called, you know, Pink Fluffy Unicorns, and write it about like World War II tanks, and then just randomly say, you know, Pink Fluffy Unicorn in the song. It still doesn't make it, you know.
Yeah, it's about a machine that revels in people's pain, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what it's about.
Okay, so it's not about, it's not a Tron that gives you orgasms. It's a Tron that experiences orgasms.
Yeah, nothing about orgasm. Yeah,
because if I was to say to you,
orgasmic in your pain. Yes, I guess so.
You know, if I was to say to you, you know, purchase now the Orgasmatron 3000. You know, you would think that's something that's going to pleasure you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You know. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Get yourself a genuine Orgasmatron 3000 here. Guaranteed to stupefy and specify your sexual desires.
What's that word?
Stupefy.
What's that word?
Stupefy.
Orgasmatron.
Oh, Orgasmatron, yeah. All right, yeah. Orgasmo!
So the album cover for this is like one of my favourites. I don't know if you saw it when you were listening to the song at all. The cover is basically a train with Snaggletooth on the front of it, which looks pretty badass.
I don't remember seeing any artwork.
The artwork. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I don't suppose you like that, but it is a bit of a dirgy song.
It's very
a little bit different.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I like the difference. You know, if there's a band or an artist that all of their songs sound exactly the same, then I'm like, what's the difference, you know? So so I like it when they try something different, because it's like, okay, it might not work all the time, but at least you're not just, this is my comfort zone, I'm just going to stay here. You know? Okay.
So we're moving out of the 80s now, into the 90s.
Okay.
not the best decade for heavy metal, but we're moving into the 90s.
Different era, though, really.
Different era, yeah. With the song Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we could have included this in the Ozzy Osbourne show.
Oh, okay.
Because it was written by...
Yeah, I did see that, actually, when I was looking for the song. I saw that there was an Ozzy
written by
version.
Lemmy, Ozzy, and Zakk Wylde, who was Ozzy's guitarist.
There was a version where they performed it together as well.
That is, you've stolen my notes.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
God.
Tell us more about it, Tom.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. It was originally recorded for Ozzy's No More Tears album in 1991. The one with Mama I'm Coming Home on it.
Okay.
So it was originally released by Ozzy. But Lemmy liked it so much that Motorhead released a version on their album the following year, March or Die, in 1992. And that version was released as a single as well. Now, the reason why I included it here and not on Ozzy's is because it was used, the Motorhead version was used in the 1992 film
Jurassic Park.
That's it. A bus that couldn't slow down.
Yeah. Hellraiser, I'm assuming.
Hellraiser.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not the original,
Not the original.
right? Yeah.
Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, which I've never seen. I've never seen any Hellraiser film other than the first one. The first one's the only one I've seen.
I haven't even seen the first one, so when we do it on Terrifying Tom, available wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll be interesting for me.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the whole series.
Yeah, so it was used in the film Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, the classic horror film, apparently. The video was directed as well by Clive Barker, the
guy who directed Hellraiser?
Yeah,
okay.
It was directed by him. And it features Pinhead in the
video.
Yeah, playing cards with Lemmy.
Ace of Spades, yeah, okay.
Ace of Spades, yeah, there you go.
Who had the dead man's hand?
I can't remember. But yeah, that video's there if you want to go and see it. If you want to see Lemmy playing poker with
Pinhead.
With Pinhead. Yeah. There you go. Now, as you ruined, but there was a version... Didn't ruin anything, I don't care really. There was a version of this released in October the 29th, 2021, with both Ozzy and Lemmy's vocals mixed together, which you can see on YouTube as well. Really good video. It's an animated video.
Oh, so Ozzy doesn't join in and play cards with them?
No, it's an animated video. It's a completely different video. It's pretty cool. Which one you prefer? I don't know. I like the one of them singing it both together. I think it's pretty cool. The song is also similar to... Well, the song was released before it was on the Hellraiser soundtrack. So it's not actually about...
It's not about the Hellraiser.
No, it's about...
It's about raising hell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about being on tour and raising hell.
Yeah. TVs through windows.
Yeah, that's
cars
it.
in swimming pools. Underage girls in your bed.
Yep.
Reptiles everywhere.
If that's your thing, yeah. I'm living on an endless road around the world for rock and roll. That's basically that's a lyric that I picked out there. About being a Hellraiser on tour. So yeah, pretty much. I'm sure they made a pretty penny though from the song being in the movie.
Yeah, no doubt. You pay rights and stuff like that, don't you?
The next song is, as we said earlier, Ace of Spades.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah, we're talking about Ace of Spades 2.
Electric
from the album Ace of Spades 2. No. People will think of Motorhead and think Ace of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
But I will reckon some other people would think Motorhead, they would think The Game. So obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you'll know about this song. Their theme song for the wrestler Triple H, a particular favourite wrestler of mine. He's lying. This is a lie. So I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. Like people from our generation would think of this more for Ace of Spades, I guess.
Again, I'm going to say what I literally just said a minute ago. Wrestling people, might think of this song.
I mean, Triple H had this as his entrance theme. Well, still does,
doesn't
so
he?
like 20 years. I mean, it's not on TV every week now, but he was on TV every week for like 10, 15 years with this song. So wrestling fans will be synonymous with this song.
Yeah,
including myself. So the song it's kind of different, really, from most Motorhead songs. It's a lot more slower.
I would say it's a lot similar to Hellraiser.
You reckon?
Slower, methodical.
Yeah, it's very slow. Slow and methodical. That's a good way to put it. Which suits Triple H, I guess, as well.
I think it suits an entrance music as well, because, unless you're the Ultimate Warrior or John Cena, no one's sprinting to the ring. So you don't necessarily need something really, something a little bit more, marching.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to be intimidating as well. I think that, that works more. Anyway, for those of you who aren't into the intricacies of wrestling.
No. As I said, I think this is another one of those songs I thought, do I need to get used to it? But, so this song debuted in January of 2001 as Triple H's theme music. I remember the exact match that it debuted in, because I'm a wrestling nerd.
And you've got a fantastic memory about it.
Yeah.
I could not remember that. I can remember it debuting, but I could not tell you the match. Or the date.
The match was for the WWF title in January of 2001.
So it's going to be Royal Rumble?
Kurt Angle on Raw defending against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Triple H comes out, ruins the match for Austin, beats the crap out of him. And Raw ends with Triple H standing over Austin on the announce table with his pose.
Oh, yeah.
And then the music hits. And young Tom is like, what is this? What is this music? And then obviously Motorhead, as I've, later learned, and we'll later learn. Motorhead would perform this song live.
I've been waiting all episode for this bit.
Good. So, yeah. I mean, wrestling was huge at the time, wasn't it? Massive. This was the Attitude Era. Yeah. Huge. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H, Kane, whoever else. I'm forgetting off the top of my mind. But wrestling was massive at this point. The Undernight Wars were going on, soon to end. So, wrestling was pretty big business. WWE's WWF at the time.
WWF,
yeah, would hold WrestleMania 17 in April of this year in front of 70,000 fans, huge, massive show, and Motorhead would play live.
Yes, they would.
They would play the game live.
They certainly would play something live.
Yep. They would play this live for Triple H coming down to the ring for his match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 17. And this is synonymous with Lemmy forgetting the words to the song.
I think this is synonymous with Lemmy being fucked out of his head before the... So throughout the whole episode, especially at the beginning, we were saying about what is he saying? What are the lyrics? His voice is very... And this is exactly the moment we were waiting for. I was waiting for specifically because this is one of the quintessential Motorhead memories that is bored into my brain. Is this specific performance. It's all about the game and how you game it. Gaming in the game and going to game it and coming to the game and... I'm going to game you and gaming in the game. You bow down, you better take it.
So I don't think Lemmy did a lot of rehearsal for this. I don't know.
I don't think it would have mattered. He would have still showed up drunk.
He turned up for the paycheck.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I've never heard someone murder their own song as much as they have this. It was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't stop them being asked back for WrestleMania 21 in 2005.
I remember them. Is that the one where they did the Bow Down to the King one? Is that...
No, they did the game.
Because they did that again as well. I remember they performed live that song as well. Bow down to the king. I remember seeing them do that live. So they've been on it at least 3 times.
Yeah, so Mania 21, they also did play Triple H to the ring again.
Did he remember the words this time?
I can't remember. I should have gone back and watched it. But WrestleMania 17 is it's probably known as the best WrestleMania of all time. The one that I've watched more than anything else. So, that performance is more synonymous, I guess.
It is amazing. I know that I'm slagging it off, but it's incredible for how bad it is. It's car crash TV. It's absolutely... go and watch it because it's fucking great. It's awful, but great.
Yeah.
I just...
Like The Room.
Yeah.
So the song wasn't written by Lemmy.
Okay.
Not surprising, really, considering...
Didn't know the lyrics.
Didn't know the lyrics. Song was written by Jim Johnson, who
does all of the
WWE wrestling songs at that point. And there's actually a rap version of the song as well.
So I wasn't going to say this because I don't know if maybe we're going to be talking about them or not in the future. But I actually really, really like the Drowning Pool version of this song.
I do as well.
I think that's a really good... I actually think it's probably better than this one.
Yeah, so Drowning Pool, I'm sure most metal fans have heard Drowning Pool. They played Triple H to the ring a year later with their own version of the game, which was released on Forcible Entry.
The lyrics.
And I thought it was a pretty good performance. I really liked the song. Obviously, nu metal was massive at the time. Mm-hmm. So, I liked it.
Yeah, I actually prefer it to Motorhead's version. Now, Motorhead's version is good. I like Motorhead's version. Don't get me wrong. It is a good song, and I do enjoy it. I like it. But I like Drowning Pool's version more.
Yeah, I mean, we might cover it on the...
I didn't know there was a rap version. But
There was also a rap version released to the Music for My Time. So it's the Music for My Time.
Oh, right,
with
okay.
the lyrics for
I
the
really
game
liked
over
My Time as well. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I like that theme as well. Triple H said he wanted his entrance music to be more gritty, like Motorhead.
So they went and got Motorhead.
So they went and got Motorhead. It's basically what Jim Johnson said to it. Like, why didn't we just ask them to do it?
Well, they had money at this point, didn't they?
Version. Yeah, so they went and got him, and it probably won't surprise you to learn that Lemmy wasn't a massive fan of the song.
No? Okay.
No, not really. I'm sure he was a fan of the money that came.
Yeah.
Sure. But he wasn't a fan of the song itself, really.
Okay.
But him and Triple H would become big friends, as he said. He spoke at his funeral, and he would record a couple of more songs for WWE. Over the next few years, "Line in the Sand," which was the Evolution theme, and then the King of Kings theme for Triple H as well. Yeah. So they still had that relationship with WWE. I mean, in the end, WWE kept them in the public eye as well, I think. So, why not capitalise on that?
Didn't Triple H induct him into the Hall of Fame as well?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't remember that.
Not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Oh, right. The WWE. Yeah. I don't think so.
No?
But I reckon they might go in if they haven't already. You can tell me in the comments if they have.
I have this distinct memory of him inducting...
Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for butchering that fame on Mania 17.
That's great. It's just,
Yeah, so as a song, it's a lot different from what you usually expect from Motorhead. It's more dirgy and slow.
Yeah.
But in a good way. I like the song.
Yeah, I like it as well.
I think, for me, it's suffered a lot from fatigue because I've heard...
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I've heard it every week for the last... from 2001 for 15 years after that, I heard it pretty much every week. So you get sick of it after a while. With a lot of wrestling themes, you get sick of them every year.
Yeah, they need to be refreshed every so often, don't they?
Yeah, so But I still think it's a good song. I'm not going to deny, its impact, and iconic status as a wrestling theme.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go.
How did it do in the charts?
Number 1 in every chart, every match.
Everywhere. All over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, specifically wrestling fans, if they're not into heavy metal, will, for example, would know this song. So we've got one more song left to go.
Yep.
And it is, aptly titled Till the End.
You don't have to tell me twice. Living here in paradise. No rules that I should bend. In my years, my life has changed. I can't turn back the time. I can't tell you just what made me change. All I know is who I am. I'll never let you down. The last one you can trust until the end.
Which was released off their last album, Bad Magic, in 2015. I'll let you go into this one before I ramble on about it for a bit.
So it feels final.
That's exactly what I thought when you said that. Yeah, it's final. Yes.
Yeah, you can very much tell that something's going on in this song. I would say he sounds terrible here.
Yeah, he sounds old.
Yeah, he sounds like my granddad. Like when my granddad was in his 70s before he passed away. Yeah, he sounded very much the same. Smoker's voice.
Yeah, it's very strained. But at this point,
I did like it. It was really good. It had a different sound. There seems to be a lot more emotion behind this song as well. Like I said, it sounds very final. It reminded me of that Queen song before Freddie Mercury passed away, where he's like,
"These are the days of our lives."
Yeah. It felt like that to me. Like he knew his time was coming, and he wanted to say thank you to everyone before he left this mortal coil. But on a final note, I put, after hearing this song, I was really surprised that I didn't like the thrash songs more, but instead I really liked the slower, deliberate style of song like this one.
Okay.
Because in Hellraiser, it really started to turn for me. I was like, dude, you're starting to finish really strong here. You had this, then you had The Game, then you had Till the End, and I was like, yeah, I really like these songs. These songs are really good. I really like these ones. And yeah, I think that's what I've discovered about Motorhead is I like the slower, more deliberate style of their songs rather than the ram it down your throat, get the guitar going as fast as I possibly can. But then again, if your nickname is Fast, you're going to be aiming to do that as much as you can. I am fast. I really am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the guitar solo in this as well. In this song, I thought the guitar solo was really good, and yeah, heartfelt.
Yes, it's a more stripped-back song from Motorhead. Lemmy died 4 months after the release of this album, Bad Magic. There are a lot of parallels between Lemmy and David Bowie at this point. David Bowie released a song called Lazarus on his last album, Black Star, which was kind of the same, sort of saying goodbye or whatever. Bowie released Black Star on his birthday in January the 8th, 2016, and died 2 days later. So he knew he was going to die and kind of wrote a song about that and reflections on his life, similar to what Lemmy did here with this song. I'll pick up one lyric in particular. In your life, you'll be amazed at all the love you lose. You can never live that life again. Which I think is quite poignant, a lyric. So it's a bit of a somber way to end our Motorhead episode, but I feel it was a good point to do that. So overall, Richard, what is your reflection on Motorhead?
So just before we go into that topic,
yes,
I also have discovered recently about Motorhead, and it makes a lot of sense now that when you say they're from the north of the country, that they do a lot of AC/DC covers. And I've actually discovered that I really like the AC/DC stuff from Motorhead as well.
Okay.
So they did Highway to Hell, which
they've done a lot of covers.
But these are the ones. Highway to Hell, It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll was another one that I really liked. And the other AC/DC song. See, I'm awful.
Back in Black.
No, I'd have probably done that, but no. But Shook Me All Night Long. You shook me all night long.
Did that as well.
And I actually really like them as well. And it makes a lot of sense now that you've said that. So those were 3 songs that I actually already have on my playlist before you.
Okay.
So you didn't even ask me to have them.
No.
But I already had those songs on there. So I wanted to talk to you about their covers as well, just before we wrapped up.
Just AC/DC or just in general?
If they have any others that you might think that I might enjoy.
Enter Sandman.
Oh, okay.
God Save the Queen by Sex Pistols. I mentioned the Rolling Stones ones. Heroes by David Bowie.
Oh, yeah, I have that one as well, actually. Sorry, yeah. I have that one as well.
They released a covers album a few years ago. This is after Lemmy died. But there was a covers album released with certain songs on it. I can't remember. There's more bands they covered. But yeah, so you're a fan.
So the thing that I found funny about
covers.
it is that I obviously really like Lemmy's vocals, when he's not fucked out of his head and he can remember the song. So I obviously really like something about Motorhead because I really like the covers, but it's just something about their specific music that kind of ground me down a little bit at the beginning. But having said that, came back and finished strong. So well done to you, sir.
Okay, I chose the right songs then. In
Towards the end, I think the end definitely got me back. So from Killed by Death onwards, it's
after the classic period.
So after the classic period. But again, this was the same thing about Ozzy, wasn't it? Is that I didn't really like the early stuff. It's the later stuff that I enjoyed a lot more. So that, I don't know whether it's when they're early on, they stick to their sound and they want to stick in their lane and their niche. But it's when they go out of that I actually enjoy it a lot more. Like my 2 favourite Ozzy songs, you would not say a heavy metal song.
Shot in the Dark and
Mama Coming Home, yeah. Those 2 were fucking awesome songs. Shot in the Dark was great. And Mama I'm Coming Home, I said, was probably my favourite Ozzy Osbourne song that I've heard. And yeah, these ones were all really good. And I mean, till the end, again, you could... He didn't sound great in this song. He really didn't. But I could look past that because I think the song was really good in and of itself. And yeah, I don't know, I like it when they step out of their
comfort
sound
zone.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
So, but I think you finished. I think you finished strong.
Motorhead finished strong.
Yeah, or Motorhead finished strong. Yeah.
So it's not quite an Iron Maiden.
No. It was heading that way. I literally wrote, I'm worried that we're heading that way now. But they pulled themselves out of the ditch. They said, no, we're not just going to stick to the same stuff. We're going to go in a different direction. And Richard's going to love it. And I did. Well done to you, gentlemen. Well done. Guys.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
But Iron Maiden didn't. They just kept going with plan A. They were the Graham Potter of heavy metal.
That's right. This is good promotion for Iron Maiden episode 3.
Yeah. But yeah, no. All in all, I think I probably came out of this episode in probably the same place I started it, which I don't think is that bad. Because I always thought, yeah, Motorhead, they're all right. And I come out of this thinking, Motorhead, yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, fair enough. There's nothing you added to your playlist?
From here, no. But having looked at it again, I don't know why I didn't add Hellraiser, because I really like that song. And Killed by Death, I like that song.
I don't know if you heard the Aussie and me version.
No,
I think you would enjoy that.
I need to go and check that out.
Check the video on YouTube. It's a great video.
I will go and check that out.
And I said, if you want to check out Pinhead playing cards with Lemmy as well,
I'm interested
check that out as well.
He should have made a cameo in the film. That would have been great.
Maybe he did. I've never seen Hellraiser
yeah,
3.
Does he get killed in the film? That'd be great. Just like a, hey, you leave those kids. Ah!
Yeah, so I hope this is turned on.
Every time I do his voice.
Okay.
Sorry.
You just can't do it like him, man.
No.
He's a legend.
I don't smoke 60 a day, probably. That's probably why I can't do it.
Yeah, so this is just a sprinkling of what you have on Motorhead's.
Yeah, you said they have a lot.
There's a lot of albums over the years, so yeah, there's a lot of places to start. But I would start at the classic period: Overkill, Bomber, and Ace of Spades.
Start later.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's...
Listen to all their new stuff and work your way back.
Yeah, I don't think there's a terrible Motorhead album. They all sound pretty similar. But yeah, hoping you got a lot out of this. I hope you got a lot out of this episode. I
don't know. Like I said, I think I'm coming out at the end of it pretty much where I started. Yeah. Which, at the beginning, I think you probably would have taken. Because I was really starting to dip.
I was kind of expecting negativity here.
Okay.
And I did get a bit of it, but not as much as Iron Maiden got. So yeah, I'm happy with that for now. I fully understand, and I fully understand that Motorhead are a difficult band to get into. I get that. I'm not stupid enough to, not see that. Anyway. So, yeah, just to shout out to anyone who's still listening to our podcast, Metal Marmite, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so the Ozzy Osbourne Part 1 is going up next week from when we're talking now.
Yeah.
So you should have heard it, and Part 2 by the time this comes out, obviously. It was a while. There was a big break between the episodes. That's kind of on me, sort of, a bit as well. I obviously have to rely on Tom to take time to do the research for his bit and then come forward with it. And then the other problem is that, yeah, like I said, we're not getting paid for this. So this is nobody's top priority other than mine, but then I have lots of other things that I need to do in the meantime as well. So that's on me. I apologise for that, but hopefully we do still have some loyal listeners and maybe get some new listeners from the Aussie episodes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, give you a bit of a taste of what it is usually like, and we would like to do this a lot more often. So if you do enjoy it, and I hate asking people to do stuff like this, but if you do enjoy it and you do want episodes more regularly, you can head over to the Patreon and become a member there. You will also get early access. It's the third time I've recorded this outro, so fuck you if it's not natural, piece of shit. Fuck you all of you bastards. Something about Patreon and shit, I don't fucking know. Tom, you're going to
subscribe, £1, £5, £9.
That's it, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to be a Patreon member, you can head over to our Patreon right now. I said something about, the fact that, we can't do this all the time because we have other commitments and things like that. So, it'll be nice, but he has a job. He works early mornings. So, he can't record unless he's got the next morning off. But, maybe with enough support, I will actually be able to pay him a wage.
That would be nice.
Yeah. We could do this a lot more regularly, a lot more frequently, and they'll get out a lot quicker. Plus, I'll be able to hire an editor which is something I didn't mention the other 2 times I fucking recorded this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would help me out as well. So then I could get them to edit stuff and I could get to edit stuff at the same time and everything will work out so much quicker. But, yeah, you can head over to Patreon. You can support us for as little as £1 and that would give you a shout out. You can, if you want to support us for £5, and that will give you early access to shows, so you can view them on the Patreon, unedited, behind the scenes. You'll be able to see me swearing at my computer and all of that. Like, that all gets cut out for the podcast. But if you want to see me lose my shit at electronics, you know, feelings always going on about it, head over to Patreon. £5, that's what it is. Or you can step up and you can actually watch us live recording this as we record it on Discord. And that will be for as little as £10. You can also, if you do it for £10, make suggestions for the shows that you listen to. If you want to hear a specific topic, if you want to hear a specific artist on this show, for instance, that is something we can do. You can also record one of those cool little nifty outros that we have at the end of the show.
Sounds cool.
You can record it in any language that you like. Like I said, if English isn't your first language, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but if you only speak Swahili, you can do it in Swahili. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. What else can you do? You can also help us out on PayPal for just a one-off payment if you'd like to as well. If you don't want to do a monthly subscription, that's fine. You can head over to our PayPal and help us out. Like I said, give me the money that I can give him the money that we can do this more regularly. And with that being said, we need to shout out to our first ever patron supporter. He has helped us out. His name is Cole Worley. Thank you very much to you, Cole. Appreciate that greatly.
Thank you.
And our first ever PayPal supporter, Nina Kelm. Thank you very much, Nina.
Well done.
You two are awesome. Nina and Cole, thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate it. And if you'd like to hear your name called out by me, or Tom, or maybe Phelan at some point, then you can support us now. And hopefully that's the last time I have to say this. So yes, with that being said, Tom, over to you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 7. 6 or 0.5, 7, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Motorhead. And I hope you join us for episode number 8, which will be more grimier.
Will it be more evil?
More evil.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah.
You're ruining my outro here. More grimier and more evil. YA. And without being said,
I'm starting to think that maybe that YA is a clue.
Is a possible clue, yes. So, without further ado, rock on. That's it. He's got it. Yeah, that's it.
And that's the last time I'm fucking doing it as well.
Este video ha sido una producción de Rich Key Entertainment. Para más shows geniales como este, no te olvides de dar clic en el link que aparece aquí para visitar todos los canales de YouTube. También puedes ver este video que sugerimos para ti. Muchas gracias, no te olvides de dar like y suscribirte para más contenido como este.